When I posted a video on YouTube, I mentioned about the importance of being sincere and truthful. And there's someone who asked me if he can see the video, so I decided to make one, and this is the one. But together with the picture, I have other pictures that might be of interest. That I have words here and there to inspire me for what I want to do in my life, how I live, and not to forget certain key phrase or attitude. So I want to share that with you. As you see here, this is a picture I took myself when I'm sitting in the party. On the left and right, you can have the word be truthful and sincere. Be truthful, that word came first after my awakening in the year 2000 in Vipassana. And then later I added be sincere, brought by Daisetsu, important attitude we should maintain. So altogether, I say be sincere and truthful in whatever I do. So this is hopefully satisfying for that person, but I want to share other writings that I have posted in various parts of my house. This is next to the microwave. Have a cup of tea. It's actually the famous saying by Joshu, a Zen monk, to create the moment, appreciate the moment, like having a tea. Empty your mind, calm and quiet. Be as you are, truly and sincerely, to have a cup of tea. This is the saying from Dogen, Zen master from Japan. Hoshin, Hoshin, Mata Hoshin, that's what it says. The meaning is initiation, so starting the mind with be sincere and truthfulness, calm and quiet. Be aware. And he says millions of times you may practice this. And I appreciate that. The thought about this being sincere and truthful, I may have done maybe millions of times, perhaps more, because it's just a continuous process, is what life is. But I believe Dogen, the Zen master, was pointing the attitude. We have to change our bad habit, negative mind habit, to be enlightened, hopefully, so that we see the world as it is, not what we think it is, and create some image in our mind. So we want to clean up, clear up, and that's the attitude. On the way out of the family room is this saying. I used this when I worked with a company called FMI, Fireplace Manufacturers Inc., almost 40 years ago when I came from Japan to California. We all started with basic principle. So we put this in the flag or display in the factory and in the office, a place for everything in its place. It's not just for things, in our mind too. We organize things better than having situation be confused. For that, we need to have good attitude, and especially when we're working together, we need that. And that company became very successful by having people empowered to work together to get things done. I've written books and videos. I share these ideas. Waste elimination, Toyota production system, some people call lean. It's not just the waste that we see externally, there's a waste internally. So let's figure a way so that we can clean our mind and see things as it is and be able to express whatever we can, the best we can. As I went out of family room, I found this picture, the cabinet. One says, "May all beings be happy. Everything is impermanent." Next one on the right, it's hard to read, but this is by Dogen from Soto Prince Zen sect, about knowing yourself. To learn about Buddha's way is to know yourself. To know yourself, you have to forget about yourself contained in the mind. And if you forget that, then the laws of nature would manifest itself. That's the way to move forward. Down below, there are some words. This one here is about awakening moment. Body and mind fall off. And Zen word in Chinese character. There's no word on this, except I thought I'd take this picture because the center picture, this one with the bird, is an interesting one, drawn by Musashi, a samurai. What's interesting about this is it may represent wabi or sabi in Japanese, which is hard to translate, but indicate the nature's way and clear from being in the society. But the funny thing about this picture is that the bird is sitting quietly, yet if you see carefully, there's a little worm down there. So this is a very famous painting, but I wonder how many people may notice that worm. So it indicates a tricky situation of life. Even in the peaceful, calm setting, there could be a danger popping up. Maybe bird doesn't know it. Maybe the bird may know it. Maybe worm doesn't know it. And anything can happen. This is a board to schedule my stuff, and along with it, one of the ones on the top is the word from Zen monk in China. And he wrote this after his awakening. I think it's profound. It says, "Our mind moves in various fashion. In its movement, there is mysterious quality. When we see how it moves from one to the next, there's a calm, quiet state where there is no pleasure nor sorrow." So this person knows how the mind moves, which is that you are not caught up in the mind. So there's a watcher of the mind, like a big me watching mini me. And if you have that state, you are not disturbed by the movement of the mind, but you can almost entertain what's happening. So in that state, there's no judgment, but just be. So calm and quiet. When I say no pleasure, no sorrow, this may sound boring, but that's the state of eternal peace. This word says on its own, by itself. Actually, that indicates that nature. Nature is by itself, on its own. Things happen. And the point is that we are certainly a part of nature. That is to remind me in this writing that's the way things can happen. I may want something different, but whatever happens is what it is. So there may be a gap, but we can learn what the gap is, how to go about it, that type of thing. This, with the question mark, is asking myself, I don't know why I put it, but it must have been some reason, obviously. And the sentence says, what's the most important thing? The important thing changed over time, and there may be many of them, and if there are too many of them, I get confused. So prioritizing what's the most important things to do is critically important. This word here, 人は一人で生きられない. That means a person cannot live on his own. This is from a president of a company in Brazil who passed away already, but that was one of his motto. The one on the right, there are two phrases. The top one is taken from the Diamond Sutra. What it says is, without being in anywhere, the mind would come out by itself. It may not be right or good translation, but the point is that you don't have a position, so you are free. No mind. Out of that no mind, the mind moves. It is as if our heart is at the center and it expresses itself with words. So it's a wisdom coming out. When you have a calm and quiet mind, insight would pop up. I think that's what they are talking with that phrase. This one at the bottom is by Lao Tzu in Taoism. Those who knows doesn't talk. Those who talk doesn't know. I leave it with that. And it's a warning. We think we know it and talk about it, but it could be quite shallow. This is a painting I did about where I live. And this up here is the one I put from the song Fool on the Hill. After the fool sit on the hill and things like that. And maybe I can put that one into the description. And I like that singing. Fool, ignorant, be happy. Watch the sun coming up, the world going around. It sounds like a very peaceful scene. In any case, me diving, maybe encountering shark, or picking up some mussels, oyster, or crayfish, meet the dolphin. So there are surfing and swimming and kayaking and sailing. Lots of activity is possible. Can appreciate life. Along with the picture, there are my painting, other painting, and some abstract painting, my friend's work. And I collected some pieces of wood from the construction when they finished the work. So I made a little painting, put some painting and decorated instead of throwing away. Oh, there was the picture of the Buddha in the picture. This is outside, right above the garage. is the big boat I found at the beach. So I brought back. It says small desire and no enough. This could be from Confucius. It's not to be too greedy, too egotistical. Learn, know enough. Not keep seeking externally, but need to be careful what's going on internally. Down below I have collected some shells from the beach. This is above the entrance door. On the left, know thyself. And this one here is if the seeking mind exists, everything becomes suffering. Be careful about seeking mind. If your mind is caught up, instead of mind moving on its own, in a natural way, on its own, we may be twisted by biased. Zen is this word, and Bodhidharma, meditating picture. Here is the saying from French proverb, to know all is to forgive all. On the left is the saying from Japan, when you fall 7 times, rise up 8th time. Up here it's hard to read, but it's like those who know enough is enough would find the world as a wondrous place. Know thyself. No T. That I don't know how to pronounce that. This is a famous thing. If you visit Japanese temple, Zen temple, they have it often. What it says is, below your feet, look what's going on. Be grounded. In Zen temple, there are many words, but the reason is that everything is put self-sufficient. Everything in its place and place for everything. So you don't need to talk much. Everything can be done intuitively, so the mind is free to focus on your calm and quiet state. Be natural. This one is from the Heart Sutra. If I read just a bit. Nakahanya haramita shinkyo kanji zei zei bosatsu gyojin hanya haramita jishoken gokon hakudo isai kuyak shari shishiki hui kuku hui shiki shiki sokuze kuku sokuze shiki, and so forth. Many monks may have this chanting going on every time they may have a meal. If I may just to summarize the point of this, Bodhisattva, when he did a deep meditation, he realized that everything passed through in the mind and body is empty. And knowing that, realizing that direct experience, he realized there's no more suffering. As a result, all the things happening in the world is empty, and emptiness is the happening. This shiki sokuze kugu sokuze shiki, meaning pretty much the same. All the event and things represent emptiness, and emptiness is in those things and events. So that's the key message of that sutra. So that's pretty much all, but I thought I would add one more. This is my poem posted outside. I think 2019 I did this. Surrounded by the ocean, I am at Paku, minutes from the needle, my playground. I meet friends on the walking path, listen to a tui singing, or watch the fantail bird dancing. Fresh veggies grow in the garden, fruits from the trees, or fish from the ocean. I discover a sky full of stars, the moon shining above the ocean. Then a glorious sunrise. I appreciate the simple life. Just few slides about the area I live by. This is like a 10 minutes walk down the hill they call Needle, and I go dive right around there. This is a beach, perhaps in the morning. I see one guy surfing. This is in the estuary. It's like an ink painting. This is also the estuary from high above. When I finished this, I noticed the rose sitting quietly, and I thought, this rose is not trying to make herself so proud of or anything, just quietly showing her flower, nature's way. I got impressed. This is the last one. I realized this is on top of my display, big display of computer. It says, be in the now, which is cessation of thought. In doing so, check how things are in the muscle. Is it relaxed? Breathing, calm and quiet. Inner body sensation. Can you feel any blockage in your body? Sometimes stomach is hurting, but you may not notice it. So be aware, whatever you do. Thank you. I hope these words I put may be of some interest. For me, they are just a reminder of the basics. And it takes time. If there's a bad habit, it takes time to change. And we need to work on whatever is needed, sincerely and truthfully. And that's just the way I try to remind myself that I shared here some of the writings, but also on the YouTube. Thank you for your time. May all beings be happy.